There is much more at stake today for Mike Shanahan and his Raiders. With last week's win in San Francisco, they kept the share of the lead in the AFC West. A season that once seemed lost has found new life with the return of Bo Jackson, who along with the rest of his teammates are out to convince the NFL that the Raiders are back. True colors are showing up again in L.A., while Atlanta hopes this scene will soon fade. The playoffs are on the line, and the Raiders need to stay on a roll. Interconference battle upcoming this afternoon in sunny California as the Atlantic Falcons for the first time ever take on the Los Angeles Raiders here at Memorial Coliseum. And the Raiders have a lot at stake indeed. They are tied for first along with Seattle and Denver in the AFC Western Division. Seattle is battling Kansas City and they're tied in the waning moments of that fourth quarter in Kansas City. Denver just getting underway against New Orleans. The Angeles Raider defense. Sometimes they'll play a four-man line, but base-wise it's Greg Townsend, Bill Pickell, and Mike Wise on the defensive line. Lyndon King, Matt Millen, Jerry Robinson, and Rod Martin are the linebackers. In the game, Jerry Robinson has rib cartilage problems. Chris Miller has Riggs and Settle in the backfield. Michael Haynes and Jesse Hester, depleted wide receiving corps. John Settle gets beyond the 45 to the 46, picks up about 3 yards. Down in 6 on the 47 of Atlanta. And on the give, it's Riggs again. They're alternating Riggs and Settle.
Erline's back in there, really settled the team down. They've kind of pulled everything together, and they've won 3 in a row.
And there's Schrader over there with Mike Shanahan, and Schrader taking a little time in learning the offensive scheme. So it's first down.
And it's a very complicated one.
Raiders on their 11-yard line. Play action on the first play of the game, and Berline completes the pass to Tim Brown. And Brown with a big play as a first down beyond the 35. A gain of 26. Robert Moore on the stop. Big first play of the game for L.A. And the give is to Bo Jackson. And he dives his way to about the 40. Tim Gordon, who is playing the free safety position, made the stop. Mike Gann, Tony Casillas, and Rick Bryan are the defensive line. Andre Bruce, the rookie, #1 pick. And Tim Green starting at outside linebacker today. John Rady and Jesse Tuggle, another new starter at inside linebacker. And 7 for the Raiders on their 40.
You got a good look.
And this time on the carry, it's Jackson again. Allen and Jackson, a potent duo in the backfield. Tim Brown and James Lofton, the wide receivers. The same could be said of them. Andy Parker is the tight end. And up front, the offensive line, Don Mosbar, John Giesick, Bill Lewis, Bruce Wilkerson, and Rory Graves. 3 for the Raiders. Tim Brown on the pitch on the end around, and Brown will have the first down and ridden out of bounds into Falcon territory by Jesse Tuggle and Robert Moore. They're on the 49 of the Falcons. Berline has time, and he'll be stopped way short by Robert Moore, who made a good open field tackle against Berline. Not the most mobile quarterback around.
On their bench.
Second down and 7 on the 13, and a fade pass to Jesse Hester, and let's see if it was intercepted. It is caught by Hester, the former Raider. First down for the Falcons on the 34-yard line. John Settle brings it out to the 43-yard line, short of a first down by a yard. Group. Third down and 1 on the 43. Gerald Riggs is stopped and a loss on the play. And the Raider defense, they have played tremendous ball. The last 3 weeks have held the Falcons here. Pitches to Bo Jackson. Alertly gets back to the 20-yard line and picks up 2 yards. Robert Moore and Tim Gordon, and the Falcons are really handling the wide stuff very well early on here. John Settle with a quick opener, gets past midfield, into Raider territory. Tremendous acceleration by the free agent from Appalachian State. Russell Carter brings him down, but not before he picks up about 9 yards on the play. Second down and 1 in Raider territory. And the give is to Gerald Riggs, and Riggs will have a first down for the Falcons. 40. Gene Lang in the game goes in motion. Chris Miller quick up the middle and completes it to Lang. Lang close to first down yardage inside the 35, maybe short by about a yard. Third and 1 or less than 1. And Gene Lang dives for the first down and fumbles, and it's picked up by Ron Fellow. And the Raiders will take over. Ron Fellows, who was waived and then brought back by the Raiders with a big recovery on a Lang fumble.
Well, third down conversions have really been terrible all year for the Falcons. They're fourth worst in the NFL. This ball just squirts out of there. Watch this fine tackle, though, by Chris Miller, or Ron Fellows might be in the end zone. You won't see many quarterbacks make a tackle with the head in front, good power drive all the way to the turf like that.
Screen pass to Tim Brown, and he can't beat the one man who is defending against him, Bobby Butler, the Raider 44. Give this time to Marcus Allen, and Allen close to first down yardage as the clock runs out in the first quarter. First down for the Raiders on midfield as we start the second quarter. Steve Berline, pass to Marcus Allen, and he holds on to make the catch. And a first down inside the 40, a gain of 11 to Allen, who's got great hands out of the backfield. First down. Allen. Close to still another first down as he's down at the 30 by Jesse Tuggle and Tim Gordon. So Marcus Allen follows a great catch with a nifty run of 9 yards.
You mentioned his smile, Dick. Sometimes it's a grimace because he is playing in a lot of pain. One thing he told me before the game, watch, he's carrying the ball in his right hand. He would much rather be able to shift it over to his left hand when he's running to this side of the field so he can use his right hand to fend off some blockers, but he can't do it with that cast on his left hand.
On the Atlanta 30. And nothing doing there as Allen is down for no gain. 1 of 3 on third down. The Raiders. Jackson. Time, and he will not get the first down. He was slowed up, and Greg Brown finally made the stop. Atlanta with a tenacious defense. 48-yard field goal attempt. Gossett will hold for Chris Barr. And Barr's kick is no good. It is off to the left.
The Raiders haven't scored any points.
See what Chris Miller does on first down. Roll out to the right. And the pass is caught by Jesse Hester, and Hester is out of bounds and has the first down for the Falcons. They're on the 42, their own 42, and on the delay, here's Riggs and Gerald Riggs. Second down and 7. Chris Miller has Riggs wide open. And Riggs fighting for the sticks. Gets across midfield and close to another Falcon first down. On the Raider 48. Still no score. Chris Miller under siege. Throws it away and a penalty marker down. And we'll have an intentional grounding call against Chris Miller. Good rush by Bill Pickell and Malcolm Taylor. Miller has settled, and John Settle gets back in the Raider territory and will pick up a first down. Tremendous running after the catch, and maybe he'll be short by a yard, but a tremendous play by Settle after the catch. They send Gene Lang in motion. Miller with a pass to Wisenhunt, and he'll have the first down for Atlanta for 70 yards. Second down and 10 on the Raider 36. Here's Settle up the middle for a couple. 2. This is the deepest penetration of the game for the Falcons. Chris Miller under pressure, and down he goes. Greg Townsend with tremendous penetration for the Raiders, and a loss of 11 that time. So it's 2nd down and 10 for the Raiders on their 19-yard line. Berline going to the air again, has time. Time is running out. Berline throws it up for grabs, and it's tipped and incomplete. Several players had a shot at that ball. 3rd down and 10 out of the shotgun, and movement in the line as the Raiders have 5 men going out for passes. It might be Bruce Wilkerson, the right guard.
Start. Number 68 on the offense. Still 3rd down.
All right, 1st down at the 36 for the Falcons. And it's John Settle. Nearly broke a tackle and might have gone down the sidelines if it weren't for Scott Davis. Attempt, 2nd down and 4 Falcons on the Raider 30. Still no score. Riggs is held up and finally stopped. Malcolm Taylor held him up. Chris Miller, I don't often see the starting quarterback holding, but he is for Davis. His longest you see was 52. And the kick is long enough, and the kick is good. Solid field goal by Greg Davis. And the Atlanta Falcons finally get on the board. 3-0 Atlanta. Greg Davis kicking off. Tim Brown, yard in the end zone. Brown with great speed. Brings it out to the 32-yard line. Fine return by Tim Brown. 3 weeks. Meanwhile, it's 2nd down and 7. Berline with a lot of time. Berline has Fernandez. Irvin Fernandez with a good catch and a 1st down for the Raiders. Good for 12 yards at the 47.
Well, not if he keeps averaging 27 yards a catch, he won't be.
1st down and 10, and on the reverse. And flea flicker. Here is Berline with a lot of time, and his pass is picked off. Intended for Bo Jackson, and the Falcons have intercepted. It was Andre Bruce downfield. The rookie from Auburn defending against Bo Jackson, the guy he used to sometimes see in practice at Auburn.
Well, that was a big story before the game. Andre says, well, I've never really ever had to tackle Bo Jackson because I never saw him in practice. He never showed up. This is a terrible mistake, though, for Berline. The Falcons played this flea flicker perfectly. Look at 3 men in position. Bruce really shows a lot of ability going up and making this grab, but he will smell it out and chase Jackson down the field. Look at the speed here for Andre Bruce. Case has him deep. Here comes Bruce up on the inside to make the grab.
Falcons on their 16, leading 3-0. Swing it out to Settle. Nowhere. The Raiders had that smelled perfectly, and he's down into the 10-yard line and a loss of about 6. Down in 13 as they mark it on the 13-yard line. Chris Miller dumps it off, and it's caught at the 21-yard line. And let's see if there's a fumble, and the Raiders may have recovered. It was Gene Lang. And let's see if the Raiders have it. Stacy Turan has recovered for the Raiders. Turan recovers Lang's 2nd fumble of the game.
Well, let's take a look at this. I'm not sure this is a fumble because Lang could have been down on the ground before the ball pops loose here. Let's take a look. There, he's down. Where's the ball? Now the ball comes out. That is not a fumble. One of the problems is that the referees were indecisive at the point of the call now. Whether they'll review it or not is to be remains to be seen, but that was not a fumble in my book.
Go in the 1st half. They've been snuffed out totally by the defense. Here's Tim Brown on the end-around pitch, and Brown backs his way to about the 15-yard line. Gain of 6. Scott Case on the stop as the clock will run down to our 2-minute warning. Now Tim Brown moves and goes back. Berline on a rollout. Berline flips it to Marcus Allen inside the 5, and he fumbles out of the end zone, and that will give the ball back to the Falcons. It is going to be Atlanta ball. Now they say he's out on the 2-yard line, but it's Atlanta ball. He fumbled out of the end zone, but fumbled at the 2-yard line.
And this was going to be a patented dive for Marcus Allen. He was loading it up, ready to go over the top. But I got to believe that this is a great hit there by Scott Case.
Fumble in the field of play, out of the end zone. Belongs at the point of fumble, 1st down.
It'll be Falcons ball, and here is the play, Marcus Allen.
I just wonder if Marcus doesn't have this other bad left hand, if he doesn't make this play really easily, gets into that end zone. He could have wrapped it up with both hands and gone over the top. He only had one hand to protect it with, that right hand of his, and Case popped it loose. Now they're going to let it run out, and they got to feel awful good about going to the locker room with a 3-0 lead on a ball club that was heavily favored.
There's Mike Shanahan, who told his team at the halfway mark when they were 3-5 and only a game out of first that they have a chance to control their own destiny with many division games, but to lose an interconference game would really hurt them badly.
Well, it's a crazy AFC West, though. You know, we saw Seattle lost already today. The advantage that the Raiders have is that they're 5-0 in the AFC West.
And that's the end of the first half with the score, the Atlanta Falcons 3 and the Los Angeles Raiders nothing.
Well, the big talk is all about matchups and schemes and what's more important. Is it more important to have a good offensive scheme going into a game, or is it more important, like Al Davis used to do with his ball clubs here with the Raiders, of just going after certain matchups? When you got a guy like Willie Gault, are you going to try and get him on a deep pattern, or are you just going to try to make it so it all fits into the scheme? One problem I see right now is this is not really Raider football. They're just kind of hunting and pecking out here. They run a couple of plays here and there. They throw the ball down the field. They haven't established any continuity to their offense, and there really seems to be a problem.
It's 3-0 Atlanta, and the Raiders are struggling. Tim Brown on the 6th. Tim Brown down the sidelines, and the kicker knocks him out of bounds. Greg Davis made the play on a 41-yard return by Tim Brown. And the pitch to Bo Jackson. Going outside, and Jackson picking up more than 5 yards. Tim Green making the tackle. Afternoon. Burline's pass, and we may have a face guard. No flag has been thrown. Bo Jackson was the intended receiver, and Andre Bruce was defending. He had his back to the quarterback, and it appeared his arms were up.
Well, he was, but he wasn't in contact or anywhere near closer than 3 yards. Well, maybe he was a little bit closer.
This game playing to 4. 2nd down and 8 on the 46. And on the reverse, Jesse Hester. And Hester gets close to midfield. Testimony to their defense. Marcus Allen and Bo Jackson in the backfield, and it's Bo Jackson carrying it out. He lost the ball, but the whistle had blown, and it is blown dead at the 36-yard line. A gain of 5.
Written for him. Now he's got to perform, or they'll give the roll to somebody else.
2nd down and 5. Jackson trying the left side, and he is ridden out of bounds by Tim Gordon. Burline being chased, and on the rollout is tackled and a loss, and it was Andre Bruce who has an interception, and now a big quarterback sack to his credit today, and that's the first sack of the game by the Falcons, and a loss of 13 big yards.
You just get the feeling from the Raiders in their play calling that they're just reaching in the bag and pulling out any old play. Here's a 3rd and about 4, and they're going to go with Burline on the rollout. This is why Andre Bruce was the first guy picked in the draft this year.
Receivers are out to the left now. Haynes goes in motion. Miller gets rushed, and the pass is caught, and a fine catch that time by Haynes. Miller on the spin around as Lang out of the backfield breaks a tackle, and Gene Lang has a first down and is stopped about the 45-yard line of the Raiders. 12 carries in the first half. First down, Atlanta. Design rollout. Riggs, or Miller, has a lot of time, and he completes the pass close to first down yardage to Jesse Hester, the one wide receiver. Pitches to Settle. John Settle cutting in nicely, and we'll have another Atlanta first down to the 22-yard line. Stacy Turan makes the stop. In the 3rd quarter, it is still 3-0 Atlanta on the field goal by Greg Davis. Miller is going to go down back at the 29. Greg Townsend with his 2nd sack of the game. He's already made good on a 46-yarder, and you see he's got a real good percentage, actually 5 for 8 now from 40 to 49. And the kick is up, and the kick is good, and Greg Davis with 2 field goals has given the Atlanta Falcons a 6-0 lead against the LA Raiders, fighting for their division lead. Trail now 6-0. Burline has Lofton. Lofton gets away from one defender. And James Lofton, putting on a show, is knocked out of bounds at the 25. 42 yards to James Lofton, and the Raiders are in business. Quarter, Falcons lead 6-0. Erline rolls out, goes to Bo Jackson, overthrown. He had beaten his man, Brett Clark. Erline showed pretty good velocity and a good arm on that toss. Holding, Barr had missed a 48-yarder earlier. This kick is up, and this kick is good, so the Raiders finally score. Chris Barr with a 42-yarder cuts the Falcon lead in half. First down on the 26 for the Falcons. Settle and Lang, the running backs. Miller to throw on first down. He's got Settle out of the backfield, and Settle will pick up about 9 before Lyndon King knocked him out of bounds. 9 for the Falcons. Settle again, and he gets by a defender, and John Settle will have another first down as he carries it all the way to midfield. Van McElroy on the stop. Wise, who has 5 sacks all in the last 5 games, has come in now as a substitute defensive lineman for the Raiders. The pass, a dangerous one. Lang comes out with it, and Gene Lang, still going, is down at the 35-yard line by Lyndon King. 13 yards. The Falcons have to be counting their blessing on that play. Second down and 10. They fake an end around, and Miller getting double team pressure and throws it away. Good decision that time for Chris Miller. He got pressure from Greg Townsend and Bill Pickell. That's what he is from 50 or more yards. Holding is Chris Miller. A 51-yard attempt, and the kick is long enough. The kick, though, is off to the left. No good. No question about the distance. Miller had or I should check, Jay Davis had a lot of leg, but it wasn't accurate enough, and the score remains 6-3 in favor of the Falcons. They're playing that way. Second and 10. Berline fires, and it's caught. Bo Jackson still going. Tough to bring down, and Bo gets inside the Atlanta 40 in a gain of 27. Robert Moore.
I tell you what, you throw the ball to Bo Jackson, and he makes a fine catch like this, you're going to have trouble bringing him down. He runs through about 4 Falcons here. There's 1. There's 2 already on the ground. There's another one bounces off, and this is real close to being a touchdown.
Second and 7, Raiders in Atlanta territory at the 37, and Berline is sacked back close to midfield by John Rady, and a big loss that time. Berline is decked. That is the second sack of the game by the Falcons, and he loses 10 that time. They're only 1 of 8 on third down conversions today. That's not very good. Berline has to make up a lot, and he's got Tim Brown, who does. First down at the 16. A 30-yard gain, and Evan Cooper made the stop for Atlanta.
Well, there's Tim Brown, number 81. A lot of people did let him go in the draft this year. A lot of teams passed him up. They questioned his toughness, whether he could make this type of grab in a crowd. Well, Timmy Brown has been more than adequate for the Raiders, if you could say that. He's had a fantastic year.
Berline just completed a big 30-yarder to Tim Brown, and now here's Tim Brown on the pitch, leading around the Brown. Then Brown picks up a few, gets to about the 13-yard line, and Bobby Butler was there to make the stop.
This is a type of situation where we've seen a lot of quarterback draws from the Raiders, and not giving the ball in the draws to somebody like Bo Jackson or Marcus Allen. And now the Boo Birds are going to give it to Berline for not getting this play off and having to use their second time out of the second half.
On the 13. Berline on a big third down play. Open is Lofton. No. And truthfully, he had beaten his man, Robert Moore, but the pass just led him a bit too much. Gossett holding early here in the fourth quarter, and the kick by Barr is good, and we have an even game. So 2 field goals by Greg Davis of the Falcons have been answered by a pair of field goals by Chris Barr. And with 12:49 to go in the fourth quarter, third down and 3. On the 18, Chris Miller up the middle has Gene Lang, and a first down for the Falcons. Beyond the 30-yard line to the 33, a gain of 15. Good pass by Miller, and Eddie Anderson on the stop. Pretty heavy company. First down on the 33. And this time being driven back is Gene Lang, and a hard crunching hit by both Bill Pickell and Malcolm Taylor of the Raiders. And Screen pass. Tim Brown. And pitch to Bo Jackson. Marcus Allen blocking. But the Falcons are equal to the task, and Jackson gets about a yard, and that's all.
They have really, they being the Falcons, have really done a wonderful job today of stringing out any wide play that Jackson starts on. They were really scouted him well. They found out that he likes to, give a little juke inside and then turn on his speed to the outside. Great job of cutting down on his choices along that line of scrimmage.
Tim Brown in motion. Burline completes it, and that'll be a first down to the 35. Lofton passing as much. First down. And a good 5-yard pickup. Bo Jackson gets it close to the 40-yard line. Burline wide open and dropped by Jackson. He doesn't believe it, and neither does the crowd, as Bo Jackson was waiting for the ball, and it bounced and glanced off him for an incompleted pass. 8 drop passes, the big number of the Raider errors today. And now Burline calls the last timeout the Raiders have. And this crowd not booing, they're gasping in disbelief as Burline is forced to call on 3rd and 5 on his own 40. The 3rd timeout for the Raiders, and they are out of timeouts in a tie game. 3rd down and 5. Raiders on their own 40. Burline chased. And let's see, it's a loose ball. It is anyone's ball, and the Falcons are going to recover. It is ruled a fumble, and the Atlanta Falcons have the ball deep in Raider territory. Andre Bruce with the recovery has made nothing but big plays today with a fumble recovery, a sack, and an interception, and this could be a backbreaker for the Raiders.
A lot of people are wondering if this is not an incomplete pass. Let's take a look at the disposition of the ball at the time of contact. The ball is going backwards. That is a fumble because he lost his grip on the ball before he tried to throw it. Bruce makes the hit, so he'll get credit for a sack. He gets the fumble recovery after it's all said and done, and the Falcons are riding high.
Miller completes it to Wilkins, the tight end. He gets inside the 5, close to the first down yardage. Raiders haven't given up a touchdown in a while, but they haven't scored either. Here's Settle, and he'll get the first down and is stopped just short of the goal line. John Settle picks up a big first down for the Falcons. For the Atlanta Falcons, first and goal at the 1. And it's Settle over the top touchdown. And our first touchdown of the game comes with nearly 4 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter, and the Falcons take a lead of 12-6. Davis ready to try the conversion. He has missed just one this year, and the kick is good. No, the kick is missed. The kick is no good, and it's still 12-6. So the Raiders hang in there. Davis kicking off has Tim Brown and Stephon Adams back, and it's going to be Tim Brown at the 9. Brown is the 25, 30-yard line, and finally brought down from behind at the 43 by James Primus. Another big return by Tim Brown this afternoon, 34 yards. Touchdown and a conversion would give him the win. Burline on first down, and a great catch by Marcus Allen.
And they've got to go to their hurry-up offense right now.
For the Raiders on their 47. Inside handoff. Allen will lose yardage back to the 45-yard line. And alert to the play.
Guess who made the play again?
Andre Bruce.
He's all over the place.
Marion Campbell, the Atlanta Falcons, have come out west and knocked off the Raiders and foiled the Raiders' chance to move into first place all by themselves in the AFC West. The final score, Atlanta 12, the Raiders 6. We'll be back at the Coliseum in just a moment.